For the past 14 years, I have been focused on helping people learn how to fix their marriages. And one of the things that has been so evident in the work that I have done with Marriage Helper is the importance of the pies. Being able to focus on how you can control yourself physically, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. And it's been such a pivotal part of the work that we have done at Marriage Helper for decades. I, however, took a special fascination with the pies, honestly, about 7 years ago at this point. I love the entire framework of thinking about how to work on yourself to become the best you can be in these 4 areas. And so while the pies methodology originated at Marriage Helper and at the work that my dad, Dr. Joe Beam, has done for so many years, the pies framework is something that I just grabbed a hold of 7 years ago and began to run with. In fact, in 2020 is when I launched my original podcast called It Starts With Attraction, which was a passion project for me and something I had dreamed of doing for a couple of years before it ever launched. I had the honor of speaking with some of the most amazing guests on that show. Honestly, I learned more than maybe you and my viewers who listened at that time did. I got to interview Dr. John Gottman, a leader in marriage and family therapy. I got to interview Jefferson Fisher, who many of you already now know as a communication expert and guru. I got to speak with Dr. Helen Fisher, who was one of the originators of the term limerence. She was also a huge part of Match.com, and she has done so many other things in the relationship space. And I could just continue to go on. When I talked to Dr. Daniel Z. Lieberman, who was the author and is the author of the book, The Molecule of More, when I spoke with Dallas Jenkins, the creator of The Chosen, honestly, it's amazing the amount of people and the caliber of wisdom that I had the honor of interviewing and being able to speak to. But my favorite part of all of it has been sharing those conversations with you. I have been learning all of these things right alongside you. And my favorite thing is continuing to learn how I can become all that God has called me to be while sharing that with you so that you can implement the tactics, strategies, tools, thought processes into your own life. Now, a year ago, I ended up completely pausing my podcast because honestly, things got crazy in life and at work at Marriage Helper. Now, I'm not stepping back from my role at Marriage Helper. I'm still CEO. And at the same time, I am excited to launch my new podcast and new venture, all about the pies, Redefined. A new way of approaching this, thinking and learning and understanding that we actually have things that we can do called inputs for each area of our pies that lead to outputs, which is the way we show up in the world. And so I am launching the podcast again, rebranded, revamped, and reimagined. So as of February 24th, we will be starting The Way You Show Up, a new podcast hosted by yours truly, speaking with some of the most amazing people that I currently know and that I am going to get to meet along the way. But my favorite part is being able to introduce them to you. I'm going to be diving into all of the things of the inputs and outputs of how we show up. Because really, when we think about attraction, it's not about looking a certain way or getting someone else to be attracted to us on a romantic level. It's about having better presence, better influence, and better confidence in the way we show up in all areas of our lives. And so that's what this show is going to be about. We're going to drop new episodes every Tuesday, so be sure that you follow us wherever you want to. Whether you're a podcast friend like I am, I love listening to podcasts more than YouTube, follow on Apple so that you'll be sure to get notified every time a new episode drops, or you can follow on Spotify, on Audible, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Or if you're a YouTube geek like my husband is, then be sure that you're subscribed to Kimberly Beam Holmes on YouTube so that you will get brand new notifications every week when we drop the shows there. It's going to be the same show on podcast and on YouTube, so whichever one you want. But on YouTube, we're also going to be creating and releasing clips and fun things in the community and different things like that. As well, you'll be able to see behind the scenes footage and more about me and my life and how I'm implementing and continuing to learn these things by following me on Instagram, Kimberly Beam Holmes, so you can go and find me there. And oh, by the way, in case you didn't know, I also, in the past 5 years, and since I even ended my show, the It Starts With Attraction show, finally got my PhD. So that's super exciting. So you'll be able to see Kimberly Beam Holmes, PhD, on all those platforms as well. That's me. Super exciting. Even though I have a PhD, I honestly just feel like I am more aware of how little I know now than ever before. And I'm continuing to want to submit myself to be a lifelong student of how I can continue to show up even better for my husband, for my kids, for my teammates, for my friends, and for other people around the world that hopefully I can influence in a positive way. Because at the end of the day, I think that's what we all want. How can we show up in a way that ends up with the world being better than when we first found it? I'm super excited for you to join me on this journey, and I will see you next Tuesday. Until then, stay strong.